on the vlog again. Just can't wait to do a vlog again. The life I love is making vlogs for my friends, and I can't wait to do a vlog again. Doing a vlog again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to do a vlog again. Hello everyone and welcome back to The Top Vloggers. As always, I am your host, Mr. High and Mighty Joe, hanging out with
your co-host, the lovely Cat. And
we have got a great vlog for you today. It should be a fun and exciting time. Well, definitely educational. I enjoy cemeteries and I enjoy walking through them, and this one has a great story, and so we're going to tell it to you when we get there.
You can join us on all of our social media websites, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Top Vloggers. Also, if you'd like to help us reach the top, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/thetopvloggers. Without your help and support, these vlogs would be almost impossible to do. There will be a link in the descriptions below.
So let's get to it! Today's vlog brings us to the Francis Slocum Cemetery. Let's go inside and take a walk around, and I'll tell you the story of Francis Slocum. Now, I guess the very first thing that you might want to know, or should know, most likely, about the Francis Slocum Cemetery is that you have to be Native American or of Native American descent to be in the cemetery. So that is something that not everyone knows. That is very beautiful. I like that. So there's another beautiful one. There's definitely some beautiful tombstones and things like that out here. And then of course this one, the writing is almost completely worn off. You can barely make out some of it. Looks like it says born February 7th, maybe 1802. Not sure. Like I said, can't quite make it out. And there's a couple of stones out here that are like that. You can't make them out because they're so old, and some of them have been broken and things like that. And like this, I assume that this one has been broken. If it hasn't been broken, it's just like I said, it's just a small stone, but you definitely can't make out what is written on it. So that's a beautiful stone. There's the front of it. I really like that. And there's this one. Richard Sam Witt and Jeanette R. Witt. As you can see, there's Howard, France, right there. And then this is where Aline, France will be. And then this is New. That's super beautiful. I really like that one. Love those eagles. Well, as we're looking at these stones, I guess we should get back and to the reason that we are here in the first place. So long before witness protection programs, a Pennsylvania native found herself relocated in Indiana, living under assumed identity. Now, this is not just a tagline for a crime drama, but the real-life Revolutionary War story of Frances Slocum. In the wake of the Wyoming Massacre, American settlers in the Pennsylvania Susquehanna River Valley were living in terror. On November 2nd, 1778, a group of Delaware Indians entered the home of Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan Slocum in present-day Wilkes-Barre and carried off one of their 10 children. Barely 5 at the time, Frances was called Maconaquah, or Young Bear, by her captors because of her protests. Many years later, Frances recalled that on the first night I was very tired and lay down on the ground and I cried until I was asleep. In time, however, the captive was assimilated. Delaware Chief Tuckhorse dressed my hair in the Indian way and then painted my face and skin. He then dressed me in beautiful wampum beads and made me look, as I thought, very fine. I was very much pleased with the beautiful wampum. Adopted by an elderly Delaware couple, Frances made her way westward to Niagara Falls and Detroit before settling on the Eel River near Keokee, now Fort Wayne. After her first marriage to a Delaware Indian, Maconaquah's second husband was a deaf Miami chief named Sheepankenah, with whom she had 4 children. The family decamped to the banks of the Mississinawa River, as Frances recalled, sometime before the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811. It was a log cabin near Peoria that Isaac Slocum discovered his long-lost sister in 1838, having been altered to the identity of the white woman who lives among the Indians by Indian trader George Ewing. The white-haired woman Isaac met at the deaf man's village was wearing at least 7 pairs of silver earrings, but he was convinced of his sister's identity when he noticed that the end of her left forefinger was missing, the result of a mishap he recalled from their Pennsylvania childhood. Speaking through an interpreter, Frances resisted her brother's entreaties to return to the Slocum homestead. I have always lived with the Indians, she explained. They have always used me very kindly. I am used to them. The Great Spirit has always allowed me to live with them, and I wish to live and die with them. Remaining in Indiana with her 2 daughters and their families, Frances conceded to the Slocums' request that she sit for the famed Indian portraitist George Winter, who noted some resemblance to her family, white, yet her cheek bones seemed to have the Indian characteristics. Her personal appearance suggested the idea of her being a half-breed Potawatomi woman. And Frances Slocum died in 1847 at the age of 74. And here you can see this is the actual burial spot of where she's buried, and they got a added little marker for her right here. I mean, I just think this is one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen in a Native American cemetery. So I think it's definitely something for people to see. As you can see, people have come out here and vandalized it and put names and dates and all kinds of other things on it. So definitely needs to be touched up, rewashed up, painted. That's for sure, but that's sad that people do that. But beautiful monument.
Frances Slocum became a stranger to her mother tongue, she became a stranger to her brethren, and an alien to her mother's children through her captivity. This monument was erected by Slocums and others who deemed it a pleasure to contribute and was unveiled by them with public ceremonies May 17, 1800. Now on the second side of this monument it says, when inclined by a published letter describing an aged white woman in the Miami Indian village here, 2 brothers and a sister visited this place and identified her. She lived near here about 32 years with the Indian name Maconaquah. She died on the ridge March 8, 1847 and was given a Christian burial. And on the third side of this monument it says, Frances Slocum, a child of English descent, was born in Warwick, Rhode Island, March 1773, was carried into captivity from her father's house at Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, November 2, 1778, by Delaware Indians soon after the Wyoming massacre. Her brothers gave persistent search but did not find her until September 21, 1837. There are various ways to pronounce the town in Pennsylvania. One of them is Wilkes-Barre, another one is Wilkes-Barre. It can be pronounced Wilkes-Barre. If it's the last word is French, it could be Wilkes-Barre. You never know. On the final side of this monument it says, Shipokana, a Miami Indian chief, husband of Frances Slocum Maconaquah, died here in 1833 at an advanced age. Their adult children were Kiki Nakeshwa, wife of Reverend Jean-Baptiste Brulette, died March 13, 1847, aged 47 years, leaving no children. Interesting fact, she died 4 days after her mom did in the same year. Ozashankwa, or Jane, wife of Reverend Peter Bondi, died January 25, 1877, aged 62 years, leaving a husband and 9 children.
So as we can see, after reading all of these signs, that this is where she is laid, and this is where her husband is laid, a Miami Indian chief. So, right here. And they have even erected this little monument outside the cemetery to let you just know a small little bit about her as well. Well, thank you so much for coming on this vlog. I hope you guys had a great time. I always enjoy bringing them to you, and it was really nice to be able to learn more about Frances Slocum and be able to tell you guys the story.
Seeing all the headstones, some of them were really neat.
If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell to keep you up to date on all the future adventures that will be going on this channel. Until next time, we'll see you tomorrow. Top Vloggers, out.